Morning. I made this video to showcase Mom's life a little bit. I didn't do as great a job as I would like to, but in Mom's own words to me, do better next time. Anyway, the first slideshow shows through her life, through the last 6 months of her life, really, from December to the end of June. And I just wanted to showcase that, she was diagnosed with cancer. She kept a good attitude, and she was just strong for the rest of us, I think. She was able to smile through the pain for the most part and laugh at herself throughout. What a joy she is. I hope you enjoy it. So, I put a bunch of questions together. Not a lot of questions, but a few questions. But things that I thought would be kind of cool just to know about, and things that you might want to talk about.
Okay.
No, she's not going to tell you where she lost her virginity.
I'll start with question number 2 then.
Come on, you, Damon.
Just tell me a little bit about your mom. What was she like?
She was a beautiful lady. She was very calm. I can't remember her ever really yelling at us, any of us. She baked everything from scratch, which was a novelty. She had the 8 of us, and I can't even imagine how she managed to deal with us without yelling and screaming and shouting, because we were challenging, particularly the boys. Of course.
Of course the boys.
It's always the boys.
Well, they were the first 3. So then the first 5 are your part.
Wow.
Just like you guys are, your brothers
Yeah.
are your part at one month out of the year. So they were very close.
That's funny. You needed to learn from that?
Well, I wasn't born yet.
Oh.
When they were little.
Well, maybe she got all your yelling out then.
I don't think she ever did. She never yelled. She came back one time. My grandma used to stay with us for as long as I could remember. And she's the one that yelled.
She didn't have yelling frogs.
Was that your mom's mom or your dad's mom?
My dad's mom. And what did she do? She was after us all the time, to do the right thing. And one time, I guess I was in the kitchen with her, and Mom had been, I don't know where she was going, but she was walking up the street. And she got halfway up there, and she came home. And she says, I can hear you guys all the way up the street. Knocked it off.
Nice.
So anyhow, but she was a very gentle lady.
With good hearing.
With good hearing. Like somebody else I know. Damon's mom was very. She had good hearing. In spite of her not wanting to, let you know. So anyhow, but she was a special lady. What, her yelling?
Her hearing.
Her hearing.
Oh, yeah.
Her gopher in the ground, oh God.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just showing off.
Hearing
You
gophers.
could tell there wasn't none there. Also. Say no more.
So anyhow, and she did all of her cooking. She, for all 11 of us, for many, many, many years.
So, where were we? Your mom was a hell of a baker.
She was a great baker.
Would she like to bake?
Yeah, she made homemade cake. She she cooked for 11 people for a long time.
So she was a good cook along with the baker.
Yes, she was. She was very good, and she taught us to cook too. Eventually, yes, but a lot of times. Oh, as we grew up, I can remember one time when we were in the house up there in Seattle, or Tacoma rather, and it was a very large house, and we had the upstairs and they had, the banister going up and everything, and I can remember standing there watching Mom being taken away in an ambulance, and she had lost one of the babies at that time, and that was a scary time.
That's that.
Huh. And I think when they had parties there and stuff, we used to sit on the staircase and listen and see what we could
Just like the
see.
Sound of Music.
So anyhow, and she and Dad liked to play cards. They played cribbage, and that's the only time I heard them argue was when they were playing cribbage. They never argued in front of us, so we didn't know that was a natural thing to do.
I know, you guys did that to us too. I didn't know people fought for years.
So, well, as far
That's
as
one guy on earth to say yes, ma'am.
as far as your dad and I think we only had probably 2 really big blow-ups in our lives, right?
Once when he fed him dog food.
No, that was just yelling. Remember the one up in Tacoma, or in Washington, where I went to take the kids to the parades and stuff, and you wouldn't have anything to do with it,
I heard about that one.
and I locked you out of the house.
This isn't the first time.
Yes, it was. And
The one that she locked me out of the bedroom.
no, I didn't.
The hell you didn't. I tore that door down.
Oh, I don't remember
And
that.
the lock was never put back on it either.
Well, I don't remember that. Anyhow, but we only had really a couple of blowouts in our married life, so really we've done quite well.
Yeah, and she used to go and bake a lot too when we first got married.
And I did. I made eclairs and homemade bread and stuff like that.
Lemon meringue pie and forgot the sugar.
Yeah, that's when you were acting up. I was a tiny baby,
You were
and I was
distracted.
carrying her in my arms, and it was just Damon's folks that was coming over.
Uncle Virgil.
Was Uncle Virgil there too?
Oh, you bet.
He was always there.
Oh, okay. Well, anyhow, I was fixing dinner and everything, and Sherry was really acting up that day and fussy and irritated. So I had carried her on my hip, and I made the pies, and they looked beautiful, but I forgot the lemon.
The sugar.
The sugar in the lemon
Wow.
pie.
Tart.
Kinda tart. But it was a beautiful pie.
Did they have to sprinkle a spoonful of sugar
Oh, that
on
didn't
it?
help.
They did. So anyhow, and when I was pregnant, it was very hard. I would have Damon's folks over for dinner, and I would pull open the oven, and the dinner would go plop upside down. I went through a whole set of dishes because I couldn't hold on to anything when I was pregnant.
I don't know.
You weren't there yet.
She had the dropsies.
I did. It was terrible.
You know, you knew when she was pregnant.
So anyhow, yeah, lots of little notes like that.
There's a little bit more about your dad. I know he was a doctor, and now I find out I look like him. For people.
He was definitely an authority figure, and he really kept the boys, in tight under his thumb. And
He
There
was
was no-
also an only child.
he was, like your dad. And your dad also didn't understand the noise the kids could make. It kind of drove him nutty for a while.
Still does.
Probably so. Probably so. So anyhow,
Yeah, but see, Mom was so used to it, she just turned the TV louder and louder, and you guys would be running around the table, and she's cooking dinner, and listen, the TV will go louder, you guys are running around. Noisy in here! She knew how to deal with it.
I was good at turning things off.
Turn them on, turn them off.
That's right. And I always said you had to hit me over the head to get my attention.
Sometimes you
And because I guess I would be lost in my own world for survival's sake.
But he did some pretty interesting things too. He was a doctor, and he was.
He loved to go fishing and hunting,
Hi.
and he taught the boys the hunting and fishing. And he was very much of an authority figure, especially to the boys. That I can remember us going to the beach and stuff. All of us packed into a car.
All 11 of you?
Well, Grandma didn't always go. She didn't always go.
She couldn't find the seats.
Probably not. I can remember sitting on the floor, over everybody's feet and stuff, because we were very tired by the time we ended up the day. But a lot of times, we went to this one place at the beach, and I can't remember the name of it.
Was it
Right
Nia
now.
Bay?
No, Nia Bay is way up at the tip of Washington. And also, this is very disjointed, but he was the doctor for an Indian reservation. He was in the Indian service. And he delivered Joanne on the reservation.
Wow.
So I think she was always kind of his favorite. You know?
That's why she got black feet.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're not the Blackfeet Indians. I found out there's something else.
Whitefoot Indian.
No. No. But anyhow, so they built a house for our family.
Chinook Indians.
Huh?
Chinook?
No.
Up in that area?
Paiute.
No, I don't.
All right, we'll be quiet.
So anyhow, and it was up there in Nia Bay, and I guess it's still there. But they built it for our family. And Pat and the boys, I guess, probably really enjoyed it. But Pat really tried to be one of the guys. And she would chase after them. And then I don't know if they threw something at her or what. But anyhow, she ended up with a broken leg. They were kind of rough. And the boys tried all kinds of stuff.
I'm sure.
You know.
Boys are like,
Boys are like that. So anyhow. I know Dick says that he was in a box or something. They were shooting at him with live ammunition.
That was John.
Was it John? Maybe it was John.
probably was Johnny.
John in the box, and then they were shooting at him
Oh, okay.
in a crate.
Yeah. Crazy, crazy things.
Makes me feel a little better.
What do you have to share?
I never got shot at.
Excuse me.
I got all kinds of stuff, but I never got shot at.
Well, that's good.
Not then, anyway. Later on, I did.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Huh.
All the stuff they always accuse me of telling on my brothers and stuff all the time. But the truth of the matter is, I never really told on them except for stuff that didn't matter. All the stuff that mattered, I really never told them.
But they beat you up anyhow.
Of course. I can hold my own for a little bit for some of them. Not too good, though.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh.
It was fun.
Yes and no. That's what I would say.
What are some of your favorite childhood memories?
Huh. I don't know. I like the times when we went to the beach. And we would stay after dark sometimes. And they'd fix dinner sometimes under the sand, put fire in it. And we'd do that, and that would be good.
They were trying to stay late. We just couldn't figure out how to get everybody back in the car.
Oh, I would always sleep I could go to sleep any place.
Still can!
That's probably where I learned it. Probably so. Huh.
I remember all the poor kids nowadays that have to sit in car seats and stuff. And we used to ride in the deck underneath the window in the back seat and go to sleep up there in the purple car. That was cool.
Yeah, it was.
It
And
was nice and warm.
So what kind of car was the purple car?
Bel Air?
Mm-hmm. Chevrolet.
Oh. What year?
What was that?
Purple.
What year was the Bel Air?
Purple.
Is that the year?
70s.
It was probably 60s, late 60s.
Oh wow. We had a '65 Bel Air. That's why. I
Did you?
asked.
Oh. Yeah.
4-door.
And this is 4-door.
Good enough for 6 people to ride in.
7 if you use the window properly.
And we would go camping sometimes, and they'd get a cabin and would spend the night. But waiting for dinner for the guys to get back from fishing was always a long, long time.
I bet.
So anyhow.
I can actually say probably some of my favorite memories are fishing and not fishing, but camping and stuff.
Right. I think they are too.
We had a lot of good times out today. And they're family times, and there's not a damn TV there, and there's not. I mean, just it's togetherness time. I mean, we don't do enough of that ever. We certainly
Well-
haven't done enough of that later in life, or enough of this just sitting around and visiting. I hate TV.
I like the family meals where we sat around the big dinner table. And that's why John does it too, just because, you know, the boys could be ornery and they'd tease us, but it was still good to have Mom and Dad there and Grandma for as long as she was. And stuff.
Always good.
Yeah. I can remember when they ran over my heel with the lawnmower.
You can
And
see
they
the scars,
They cut my Achilles
tendons.
tendon, and so my brothers carried me all the way across town to the emergency room because Mom and Dad had gone out for the evening. And they carried me all the way back home after they wiped it out. And then I was on crutches. And I can remember we had Roland was there, who was a cousin. And I fell flat on my face first time I tried to cut crutches. I didn't do well. But I learned.
I can believe that.
Yeah, not nice. Not nice. But my brave brothers, I'm very proud of them for doing that. And when another thing we
They
used
didn't want to
do,
get in trouble.
then my dad, and the next day took me in the office and he sewed up my foot, my ankle, my heel.
You had to wait for a whole day?
Well, till they got home, yeah. They
Wow.
got home late, so it would have been the next day.
So I hope you're enjoying this video. The first part of this video took place on April 4th, and we pick it up again now at the beginning of June. She's still doing really well, but she's gone through a lot of changes. I'll probably come in at least one more time and say a few words. But in any case, enjoy the rest of the video.
Oh, I think he did pretty good. But anyhow, the thing being, I think that back when Mom and Dad didn't believe sharing a lot of things with us. You know, they kept a lot of things to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it was hard to stand up for ourselves and different things like that. And that's that's why I give Dick Whitteman credit for teaching me how not to let somebody treat me. So I think that was pretty good, to do that. So
How do you teach you that? By treating you bad, or
by treating Pat bad.
Oh,
By treating Pat bad. I said, I'll never let that happen. And early on,
Alright, you got 81 years. Where was the favorite place that you visited and what made it special?
oh my goodness.
You don't have to limit it to one. You can
Well, I don't know. I want to go to Hawaii.
I know you do.
I'm not going to Hawaii. Maybe in my dreams. Okay. Now, guys, when you show these tapes or something to, tell them I had no
Previous knowledge.
previous knowledge of anything. And off the cuff, I'm not wonderful.
On the contrary, you're doing wonderful.
Oh my goodness. So, anyhow, I enjoyed our trip to Alaska with Mary and Perry. And I enjoyed our trip to Panama with Dwayne and Barb. And I always enjoyed going camping with the family, with my family and your family. Or our family. Yeah. And I thought that was always very good. And a lot of things. Where I think I'm more of an open book as far as that goes.
You think so?
Don't you think I am?
I think, I mean, we've always been able to talk and we've always done a lot of stuff, but we really, I don't know shit about your family. I mean, aunts and uncles and stuff, I know what we got to know them a little bit, but typically we were pretty much sent off to play and stuff like that. So we didn't spend a whole lot of time, well, not just sent off, we did, because that was what the kids did, you know?
That's what the kids did.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And
And get together with our cousins, but we really never got to know our aunts and uncles very well because we were always with the cousins.
yeah.
And then
And that's
we also don't know anything about your aunts and uncles or very little about your mom and dad.
we didn't know about them either.
Same reason, huh?
Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbled, I
I know.
guess.
So,
But yeah, we knew very little about them. Well, when I was around, I wasn't always around. Yeah, Joanne, when she left, anyhow, she took a lot of things because she was going to be away from the family, and she knew that. And so she took different things that were, you know, that would make her aware and stuff. And of course, she got Dwayne would have had a lot of information just being with Grandma and for the Wisconsin people and up there. And so we really didn't know them very good either. You know, I think distance and stuff kept us.
So what an overwhelming joy she's been throughout my life, throughout our lives. Every life that she has touched, every life that she has touched throughout her life on earth was blessed, absolutely blessed. So I want to leave you with this. This is a video my sister took on an app called Marco Polo. She realizes she hasn't seen herself in quite some time, and she realizes that she's on camera and doesn't recognize herself. Anyway, in true Janice fashion, she just erupts in laughter at herself, like she always did. She loved to laugh, but always at herself. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and just brings joy to my heart to share this with you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. And
Hi, Chip. We're here. Mom's
Bye, Mom.
seeing your stuff.
Oh, that's me in there.
Yes.
I didn't recognize me. Who's that old man in there? I'm so sorry.
Anyway. Here, we'll let her catch her breath and we'll get back to you. All right, we're back. We put a bow on Mom's head. Trying to figure this out. Let's see. And I'm trying to figure out, I know there's those filters on here that you had. And I'm not sure exactly where we did that at. But I remember doing it. Anyway,
We're here. I don't recognize myself. My voice doesn't sound like myself. Oh, how funny. Who's that man there? Let's see. I'm looking more like Dick here. Who do I look like?
you look like Mom. That's what you've been looking like, so we're used to it.
Oh my goodness sakes. Well, hon, it's going to be good to see you. Okay? So we love you.
Ryan always says, angle is everything. You have to put it at 45 degrees and it makes everybody look better. We'll go sideways. Anyway, I love you.
And we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay?
Bye.
Even if I don't know myself. Love you.
Bye.